Is it that your partner lacks empathy, or is it that he has an avoidant attachment style? Or could it be the dynamic in your relationship between the two of you because of a lack of relationship skills? And I'll talk more about what that means. Hi everyone, Mireille Nicole here, and in today's video, I want to share with you why it's so easy to fall into the trap of confusing a lack of empathy with an avoidant attachment style, or even a lack of relationship skills, or any variation of all three of those. But first, let's talk about a few definitions. So what does empathy mean? Empathy, simply put, at the basic level, is just being able to imagine yourself in someone else's shoes, right? Picture yourself in their situation and really kind of understand and be able to relate to what they're going through. And Brené Brown brings it one step further by saying that it's about believing what someone shares with you, right? In terms of their emotions and their feelings. So a lot of women come to me and feel like they get a lack of empathy from their partners. And usually it's because they really identify as empaths themselves. So it's really hard to understand why the person that they love and the person that's supposed to love them isn't feeling that same type of empathy or emotional connection. And just to be clear, one of the things I notice that happens a lot is there's also confusion between codependency and empathy. So if you're unsure in your own specific situation, if what you are is an empath or codependent, I will link some videos up here, so go check those out. You'll see that when it comes to empathy, there's still a healthy detachment from your partner's emotions and feelings. When it comes to an avoidant attachment style, we're talking about a man who is very independent, autonomous, self-sufficient, and to the point of keeping his woman at arm's length. They tend not to open up, and their partner complains that they're emotionally distant, and they don't like to feel controlled. So why could there be confusion here? I think you might be able to start seeing where I'm going with this, right? So there's a lot of overlap between a lack of empathy and avoidant attachment styles. So a lack of empathy would be unable to kind of understand or see where another person is coming from when they're feeling emotionally upset or they're all wound up in their feelings. And like I said, when it comes to avoidant attachment styles, a lot of women will complain that they just don't feel emotionally connected and their partner doesn't understand their feelings. You actually might be feeling this way, and this might be why you're watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to what I'm sharing here. But going back to men with avoidant attachment styles, like they will literally train themselves to detach from your emotions and your feelings. They totally fear the intimacy and the closeness. And research has actually found that they can't even perceive or detect upset or negative emotions in their partner, for example. Like they did some studies on this and they saw that partners with avoidant attachment styles, and I don't mean to pick on the men here, but obviously I'm always talking to women with these videos, but this can apply both ways, right? But they've actually found in this research that they will perceive their partner's emotions as being indifferent when in fact they're actually really upset or hurt about something. I actually think they are just projecting their indifference on their partner, and that might be part of what's going on. But anyways, know that if you're with someone that's avoidant, they are going to tend to do that. They are going to try to ignore or not see, not understand the emotions that you're feeling inside, which is why you might be feeling like you're not getting the emotional support that you need and desire from your partner. So now you can see why partners that have an avoidant attachment style can have a really hard time gauging the other person's feelings, thoughts even, and life situations, right? And when it comes to an avoidant attachment style, they are just kind of trained, or it is just their style to not notice those emotions, not even try to feel them for you or imagine themselves in your shoes, because that is their deactivation strategy. That is how they keep their autonomy and their independence. Do you see where the confusion can come from? Do you see how there is overlap between the two? So I'm going to throw in a curveball here. So I am going to say, in my opinion anyways, another phenomenon that might be happening could be the dynamic in your relationship related to a lack of relationship skills. And what I mean by this is sometimes, depending on how things are going between the two of you and the health of your communication skills, maybe your level of emotional intelligence, maybe of mastery over how you manage your own feelings. This could also make it seem like your partner is lacking empathy, or it could put them in a space that makes him look like he's completely avoidant. And the reason I share this is because at the lowest point in my relationship with my husband, then boyfriend, is that he was exhibiting at one point where things were really rocky and we were really on shaky ground, tendencies that looked like he had a lack of empathy towards me, or it looked like he was being avoided. But what I quickly realized when I started understanding more about the relationship skills that are needed to have a happily ever after, to have that healthy, happy marriage or relationship, I was contributing towards a dynamic which was enabling this perception. So what I mean by that is I was in a space where I was having a really hard time with my emotions, and I was acting or behaving in a way that was making it really hard for my husband in terms of not being able to create a safe space for him to even share his own emotions, which made him kind of not want to even get involved with my own, right? And we had a lack of communication skills at that point. We weren't really good at expressing our needs. So again, there was avoidance of that. And whereas I was trying to lean in more because I tend to be more anxious, he was leaning away more. He was becoming more avoidant. And to me, part of that looked like a lack of empathy. And obviously, those were characteristics of also an avoidant attachment style. The thing is, when I started getting better with my emotions, when I started to learn how to communicate, express myself, how to negotiate better with my partner, how to resolve conflict in a healthy way, when I was starting to really understand men a lot better than I did back at that time, as a whole, I was becoming more secure. I noticed he also started being more secure, and he was being less and less avoidant, or it seemed to me like he was being a lot less avoidant. And we were getting that emotional connection and starting to feel that emotional support again. So I want to share this because if you feel like you're in a relationship with a man your husband, and it seems like they have a lack of empathy, or maybe they have an avoidant attachment style, that's not to say that there's nothing that you can do to try to see if that's actually what's happening. Because I'm sure there are men out there are people in general, right, who lack empathy. There are people out there who have avoidant attachment styles, and that's maybe just who they are. But really, by working on yourself, working on how you are, how you show up in a relationship can really give you a lot of insight into whether or not you are, in fact, dealing with someone who just has zero empathy for anyone on this earth, including yourself, or if you're dealing with someone who's an avoidant attachment style and there is no hope for them because they just don't even want to be in a relationship at all. You can really see what kind of dynamic you play. Is there anything that can be done from your perspective to hopefully change what's going on? And I always tell women, especially women who come to me and say, Mireille, feels hopeless. I've tried so many things before. I always tell women, these skills, these relationship skills, you're going to want to do them no matter what, right? Even if it turns out that he has no empathy, even if it turns out that he's avoidant and you'd be better off with someone who's secure in a relationship, these are skills that you're going to want to have for yourself no matter what. So it is never a waste of time to really investigate if your relationship is really toxic or not. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope it was interesting. If you'd like any support in mastering these relationship skills, or really understanding whether or not you are in a relationship with someone who just lacks empathy or who is avoidant in terms of their attachment style, click on the link in the description here and fill out the application form. Let's have a chat. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions or comments, leave them below and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.